Hi, my name's Nick. Welcome to the first episode of Fine Art Films. This episode will feature the painting Vive l'Empereur by Edouard detaille. Detaille was born into a prosperous family from Picardy in France with a military background, his grandfather having served as an arms supplier to Napoleon. Detaille's early interest in art was encouraged by his father, an amateur artist and friend of collectors and painters, including the battle painter Horace Vernet. At 17, Ernest Meissonier took on Detaille as a pupil and was an enormously important influence on his artistic development. From Meissonier he learnt finesse of execution and an appreciation for precise observation. He was soon encouraged to set up on his own, and at the Salon of 1869 won approval for his canvas Arrest during the manoeuvre Camp Saint-Maur. In the spring of 1870 he and three other young artists undertook a sketching trip to Algeria. At the outbreak of the Franco-Prussian War, Detaille obtained a staff position with General Appert, which enabled him to observe the hostilities firsthand, and this experience provided the mainstay of his subsequent artistic output. In 1891, a buyer in Paris was instructed to find a grand, distinctive work that would draw the crowds to the Art Gallery of New South Wales in Sydney, Australia, and a suitable painting was soon found. Edouard detaille, France's greatest war artist of the day after de Neuville, had recently painted a small cavalry charge that took place at the Battle of Friedland in June 1807. A French victory over a Russian army near the Russian city on the Baltics now called Kaliningrad. Friedland was the culminating action of an extraordinary campaign which began 20 months earlier in Bavaria and gave Napoleon a 5-year hegemony over Central Europe. The Russians had crossed a river to destroy an isolated French corps, but much of the rest of the French army came up quickly and drove the Russians into the river. Cavalry were used throughout the day, and Detaille seized on one small, typical forgotten charge that seemed to sum up Napoleon's cavalry as they galloped to gold-braided glory under the eyes of their emperor. The result was Vive l'Empereur, a vast and vigorous canvas. Detaille excised any gore from his painting, but it remains as true to its subject as any artist would ever achieve. Its monumental encapsulating artwork measures 3.7 by 4.5 millimeters, lived up to its expectations and drew the crowds. In 1958 a flood hit the Art Gallery of New South Wales and damaged the painting, and it wasn't until recently that it came out of storage and now takes pride of place in the main galleries.